In PyTest-Full-Stack under tests, I've got a folder called isolated suites where I have some test suites that don't run with the main full stack because they would clash. One could ignore them with the -- ignore. There's a README article in that section. So what I've done is I've actually opened up in VS Code this particular folder here, and we can see it. Here it is. Everything's in here. When you first come in, I've kind of put something in front so this test won't run in the main full stack suite. First thing to do is come in and rename and just take that out so that can run now. In fact, I've got one there, so let me delete that. That was from previous practice. You'd come in, rename it. So when you're in there, create a virtual environment, activate it, install the requirements. It's using sort of Poetry and Fixtup and Psychop G2. So that's why it's doing it. Make sure your Docker desktop is running. Many times I failed to do that, and we're going to actually have a look and sort of see it pull in. We've got volumes, images. It's going to be pulling in this Postgres, so we'll see it very quickly. What I'm going to do is actually delete this image so we can see that when we get going. So we've got our requirements, we've got the README that we've just seen. Make sure Docker is running. Everything else the same. So that's going to be our test there. That's going to say setting up a Postgres should be working. These are the configurations that come with the article here. That's where I've got this from. And it's just basically just checking it's up and running by doing a select addition. It's not pulling anything from the database. Git ignore. We have our Docker compose. There you can see it's getting Postgres. That's the Docker compose file. It has a fixtup. Not going to go into that. The only thing that happens is we've changed the standard one to true, but that's in the article. It has its hooks where it's setting up hook started. So it's running its hook started. So that's important. So this is the configuration in fixtures, Postgres. There's a hook started. There's some other ones here. Hook data sample, hook stopping. Don't need teardown. We don't need that. It's just this one here where we start. We've got timeout, connect. So we're just seeing that all this works and is up and running. Good. So let's go back to the README. So we've done virtual environment. We've installed. We've taken off the reactivate. Now we just need to run this. And I'm going to bring over my Docker desktop here. So we'll just run this. Control V. Let's run it and open up our desktop. We can see the suite started to run. It's going through now. It'll be pulling down Postgres. May take a little while. But the second time, obviously, it'll be much quicker. There we see our Postgres. If we look at our containers, the container should pop up. There it is. Pops up, green, runs, and is deactivated. If we look at our tests, it's passed. What was our test? Our test was basically to make sure that Postgres was up and running to connect to it, create a cursor, carry out a command, get the result of a simple select 1 + 1, and then close. So to recap, whatever way is best, but I go into tests and open up the isolated suites. This is it here. We run it in a separate environment, follow the README instructions, and this will basically connect you to your Postgres database. And then you can run, as we've seen here in our tests, we can continue to run other SQL commands and schema tests and whatever we want. Good.